What is up? Welcome to the radar for Rasslin Studios.
What up, Mox?
Guys, AEW Dynamite just finished up. It's the counter programming of AEW against NXT TakeOver Night 1 Stand Deliver. So they have to have counter program the NXT TakeOver event and decided to do it with having Urban Meyer show up in the backstage talking to Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's back in AEW. Remember a year ago, he introduced the TNT Championship, handed it to Cody, and then had the issue with Chris Jericho. We never got really a payoff after that because he went to go fight Roy Jones Jr. So, you know, it was kind of bad timing on all that. Whatever. But we got somewhat of a payoff here. So it's an interesting show of AEW Dynamite. I'd say it's good, bad. I'm kind of indifferent about it. I really enjoyed one part about it, and the rest of it's kind of whatevers. Inner Circle returning, had the big 6-man tag because, you know, it's AEW. You have to have a 6-man tag. Yeah, it's just the way it is. But let's get right into the video. We have 2 takeaways from the show. But before we do, I'm going to drop a like and a comment down below in the comment section. What you guys thought about AEW Dynamite? What was your favorite thing about it? Mike Tyson, did you enjoy that segment? Did you enjoy the Inner Circle segment? The big promo from Chris Jericho? Did you enjoy the ending, which is kind of like, I guess, a swerve, I guess. But let's get into it. Let me know in the comment section what you guys thought of the show. Before, you know, if you're watching, subscribe to the channel notification bell to new videos drop. Let's get into the show. Hangman Adam Page versus Max Castor starts off the show. It's a solid little match. It's just there. They're continuing to build Page, have him be pretty much going a massive winning streak, and eventually probably get a title shot eventually. The big match is him versus Kenny Omega for that AEW championship. If that does end up happening, we'll see. But that's pretty much all there is there. It's just him beating Castor to continue his winning streak, and that's all it is for Adam Page right there.
Hangman needs to get in the title picture, Ray. Let's go.
Yeah, next thing on the show is Tony Schiavone's having an interview with Death Triangle. They're in the ring and they're talking about how they're going to have next week a match against, the tag team title match against the Young Bucks. Then they get interrupted by Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends with Chris Statlander, who's part of the squad now. They're out there talking trash and coming back and forth because they had issues over a year ago and that was kind of just dropped because of COVID, and then you never saw it after that. So it's just pretty much bringing it back so that they could do 6-man tags later on in the future with this. So that's what we'll see. The Best Friends taking on that triangle with some 6-man tags. That's pretty much all there is to this thing. It's not really much anything special. It's just, it is what it is. Next thing on the show was the big Inner Circle come out. They showed up in the beginning of the show in like cars, and they just did a Kojak and park wherever the hell they felt like in the parking lot. And then they're coming out. They have it's Chris Jericho there. He's cutting a massive promo. It's a long promo, but it's a scathing promo that he cuts on MJF and the whole Pinnacle. It was really really good promo by him. He pretty much shits all over MJF and the whole group of the Pinnacle. It was tremendous by him. Really good promo. Even though it was some weird editing parts I got on my feed. I don't know if that was just me or what. Weird voiceover stuff I was getting.
I got the same thing.
Yeah, so it was like some weird voiceover stuff going on there. So, but in the end, he challenges May 5th, Daly's Place. The Blood and Guts match we were supposed to get back last March. It was supposed to be near us in New Jersey. We were supposed to go and we had tickets. We were going to go, but then they got shut down. So now they're going to have it in Daly's Place May 5th. The Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle in the Blood and Guts match.
Get it. May 5th, right here in Daly's Place. First time ever. Pinnacle versus Inner Circle in a Blood and Guts match.
I can't wait to see how this thing goes down. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a big money match.
I mean, that promo was so good. That would never happen in WWE just because of the fact that it's all scripted.
Yeah.
Here, this was off the cuff. He was doing it. He just had jokes. He was talking shit. That's basically what he was doing, and it was off from the heart, from the cuff. It was awesome. Loved the entire promo. Was great. I'm excited for this matchup. This Pinnacle stuff versus the Inner Circle. This is the best stuff going on right now. I've loved every little thing from it. Even later on, everything gets better. It's the best thing going in AEW, no question about it. And we finally get Blood and Guts. It's finally gonna happen. It's a year later, but we're gonna see it. And it's a different teams, but Inner Circle still involved. And Pinnacle, it's way harder than it would have been even last year with with Nightmare Family and the Elite.
Yeah, I think it's ends up being a better matchup than that one because there's more behind this one, more heat and stuff like that. So yeah, it's the 2 factions that are only doing anything useful on AEW right now. Of all the factions they have, they're doing the best stuff. Next thing on the show was
roster of factions.
The Godzilla versus King Kong match. They have some promotional stuff with King Kong, Godzilla movie, Jurassic Express versus Bear Country. It was cool. It was just like just a match. That's all it was.
Yeah, it was a match. It was a tag team match.
It's a good tag team match. Jurassic Express get the win, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Not much else to talk about there in terms of that. Next thing on the show was the TNT Championship match: Darby Allin versus JD Drake, along with Cesar Bononi and Ryan Nemeth. This match went super long for some reason. But the interesting is before this match, you had the weekly Sting interview with Tony Schiavone, which he doesn't get much out because Lance Archer comes out and Jake's taking They start talking trash. Then here comes Sting. He finally says something. And he just talks about Lance Archer not being. He's a main event talent, but he keeps getting taken out of the main event picture. They're working this to a storyline, but it's a flaw that AEW has where they put these guys in spots and they just kind of disappear and they don't know what to do with the roster. And that's basically what they brought out on live television there.
And they laid it out. They were like, yeah, we do that. And Sting's he told Jake, teach him how to do it. What are you doing? Teach him how to do it. So that was funny. But yeah, weird little segment though. Kind of strange. It hit me kind of weird.
Now this match, Darby Allin versus JD Drake, it goes on long, right? But in the end, Darby Allin wins, and then you have the Butcher and the Blade attacking him. Here comes the whole Hardy family, comes out attacking, Darby Allin. Then you have the Dark Order come out and help Darby Allin. Sting's out there with his bat, doesn't hit anybody, just runs behind everybody like that. And that's it. Next week you're gonna have Hardy versus Allin for that TNT Championship. I guess whatever. There's big factions going at each other. I'm not a huge fan of the whole Hardy thing, so we'll see what happens going forward.
Main event anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I guess so. Next thing on the show was you see Chris Jericho getting attacked, and he gets thrown in by the Pinnacle. They're just beating the living hell out of Chris Jericho by himself. They locked Inner Circle in their locker room so they can't get out. And then you have Mike Tyson coming out to make the save, and this is the first takeaway of the night. And it's this picture behind us because Mike Tyson comes out. He attacks Shawn Spears, punches Shawn Spears to get him out of the ring.
Iron Mike is ready to fight.
What's going to happen
But
here?
who's he going to fight? Oh, look at this. Just a barrage of body shots up to the chairman, Shawn Spears.
Here comes the Inner Circle to kind of, stand tall with Tyson, and then him and Chris Jericho are kind of hugging, and they're friendly. They buried the hatchet from what happened over a year ago. So you get some type of closure and a kind of like a payoff. And then next week it's supposed to be, I think it's Dax Harwood versus Chris Jericho and the Special Enforcers Mike Tyson. So they have Mike Tyson in here for 2 weeks in a row, and that's it. I mean, that was a good segment. It was fine. It was fun. You were able to get Tyson back after what happened previously. So I mean, it's it is what it is. It's just a fun little segment. Tyson's there. It's cool.
I mean, it was a good way to get some eyes off of, Stand and Deliver. They know they were going up against a big-time pay-per-view feel, so they needed somebody. And who better than Mike Tyson? And Mike Tyson has a match with Evander Holyfield in a couple months, too, so that's happening. So it made sense. And they did a good job of Mike Tyson not overpowering the Inner Circle. Yeah. Like being he felt kind of right in. It didn't take away from anybody. And he beats up Shawn Spears. And I know you're like, oh, my God, he's getting beat up by Mike Tyson, a wrestler. But he's Mike Tyson, so the fact that Shawn Spears is getting his ass beat and still stood up, it makes Shawn Spears look even better, I think.
Yeah, in the end, because he's getting punched by Tyson, so it's realistic enough, right? So because it is Mike Tyson, so it's not you don't bury anybody doing it. But it was a solid segment. That's the first takeaway of the night. Next thing on the show was Tay Conti versus the Bunny. Fine match, whatever it was, what it was. Yeah. Conti gets the win here. Interestingly enough, though, you had Britt Baker cut a promo earlier about how she shits on the ranking system because the rankings make no sense in AEW. Which is another flaw that they bring on live television and just bring it up of AEW. Yep. The ranking system is pointless, ridiculous. You have people winning on Elevation and Dark that count toward it. Just nobody watches any of that stuff. So why whatever? But she's fourth in the rankings for some reason. It's just she's gonna get her wins up. So watch all three shows because she can get her wins up. So you have the match Conti versus Bunny. Conti gets the win. That's it. You have stuff go shenanigans from Hardy out there, but man, it's just stuff that nobody really cares about. To be honest with you.
Yeah, like you just gotta have Britt Baker be the focal point. Like they keep messing this up. Tay Conti looks really good though. Like she's not ready to be champion or nothing, but there's something there, and she has good matches. She has a good look, and I'm kind of surprised that NXT let her walk away. Yeah,
it's an interesting one. And then you had Hikaru Shida show up in the match and help her out. Tay Conti. So that seems to be the next matchup is that title match. But it's all where's Britt Baker, where's Thunder Rosa at when it comes to this stuff. Next thing they show was that final trios match: Jon Moxley and the Bucks taking on Kenny and the Good Brothers. It was a really good match. I mean, it's fun. 6-man tag. You know what you're getting out of it. It's a lot of fun. A lot of big spots. At one point, you have Matt hits Kenny with a power driver, and then he kind of Kenny's selling it, and Matt and Nick kind of feel bad. They're hesitant to do moves on him after that. And you have Moxley getting attacked, getting beat up, and the Bucks just stand there and they let them beat the living hell out of Kingston. And Kingston comes out and Moxley, and then they let Kenny pin Moxley, and they just stand there and take it. They let it go down, and then they they prop Moxley up. Both Bucks super kick him in the faces.
Oh, the Young Bucks pulled a trigger on a shot heard round the pro wrestling world.
This is the second takeaway of the night. They're reverting back to the Bucks now being heels again. They've gone heel face. In that they hugged at the end with the rest of the Bullet Club members, and I guess, people say, oh, it's good storytelling, or no, it's not, because it's just, you ruined the story because you dropped it, and then you went back and forth a million times with it, and then you kind of went away from it, and then you go back to it, and it's like, oh, we're back to square one again. I don't know, it's AEW, they have they keep dropping these storylines. They don't know where they're headed. It's like they're planning week of instead of planning 6-7 months ahead or something like that. I don't understand it. It's not good storytelling to me, in my opinion. I think it's just, you've dropped the story so many times that you haven't focused on it, and you've gone so many different ways with it that it's just you had them attack Don Callis in the house of Kenny Omega. You dropped that storyline for a few weeks, and then you try to come back to it, and now we're back here. So it is what it is.
It's just too many swerves, too many overthinking. And like you said, they need to plan out, a couple of months in advance, or, a month in advance. We may not do weekly, or maybe they are doing that, but they just don't like the way it's going. And they just, I don't know. But there was online talk that this was that they enjoyed it. That was good storytelling. That just the fact that, they did, they messed up Moxley, but they really didn't want to. It all felt kind of weird and felt strange. It's just it's kind of all over the place. And I can't really focus on what's going on. It's too much. It's too much swerve of this, too much being this thrown that way. And the whole TNA back and forth is also kind of weird. It's not really flowing as well as it was earlier. Not loving this whole storyline. I feel like we could get something a little more streamline and just him versus Hangman, or him versus Mox again, a rematch. Just keep it towards that. I know Kingston being hurt or whatever kind of messes stuff up, whatever. But I don't know. This whole Bucks Omega thing has been all over the place. It's just been 1 week they're hot, 1 week they're not. It's like this weird relationship that it's getting kind of tiresome.
Yeah, it is, and that's the way the show ended. Two other things to note: you see Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page hanging on the rafters. Whatever.
That's the thing now.
They drop. He wins that gold brass ring, gets the title shot, then disappears after the night in a tag team that hasn't wrestled yet. You have QT Marshall kind of solid promo, Nightmare Factory and Cody. I thought that was it was a good spot by him. Team Taz trying to recruit Christian Cage. We'll see what comes of that. But that's pretty much the show. That's all we have for you guys today. 2 takeaways. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let me know in the comment section what you thought of AEW Dynamite. Do you agree that they're just screwing stuff up here and there, and they drop storylines and just come back to it? This is what they do. I don't know what's the story, but do you agree? How do you feel about AEW Dynamite, or do you love AEW Dynamite every week? Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of all that stuff. But like and subscribe, all that stuff. So if it doesn't work, but not do the job.
Later, Mark.